I feel a little bit like J.R. Ewing. My name is Vander Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Do you remember J.R. Ewing? It's an old TV show. I've given my age away completely. It's called Dallas, and it's all about like these oil barons like screwing each other over. Well, I wasn't really supposed or allowed to watch that. It's back in the day when I was still a youngster. And so today Marta figured out how we go about buying oil for the central heating for our little estate in the countryside. So I think I've mentioned this before, but in Poland, a lot of the houses have central heating because it's a cold place. And the one that we have is kind of this big oil reservoir that's underneath in the basement. It's got all these contraptions around it, and you have to go downstairs to switch this bad boy on, which we tried to do over the weekend. Kind of succeeded, and then had to kind of just let air out of the heating, and then it then proceeds to actually warm up the house. Now, ours are is relatively modern. It works with oil. It's relatively clean. It doesn't burn coal. But we are definitely considering like alternatives. What can we do, to do a better job around being more environmentally friendly, but then also keeping the house heated, because we have to do that, because if we fail to do so, it might lead to burst pipes and damage to the actual house, because believe you me, walking into that house when the heating is off, it's very cold in there. That is something that I'm proud of, that my wife actually figured out today. She went to all the government sites, because one doesn't just go and buy oil. You have to have licenses. You have to prove that you're not selling oil or taking it across the border into one of the other countries to make gasoline and set up a whole new business for yourself. However, that said, with all the crisis going on here in Europe, especially around Belarus and Russia, and the discomfort of many people that we are still worried about and still is a concern. Luckily, the update that we are getting is that from a Red Cross side, they are supplying some amenities to the folks and looking into how they can be supported. That in turn has also meant that the oil price has gone up on this side. And when Marta was speaking to some of the old guns, because we had to reach out to some folks who do this in Brodnica, and they've been around the block a few times, they have mentioned that they've never seen the oil price so high. So we're going to have to think about what we going to do in the future. But that said, just some interesting experiences that I'm now going through from a Polish European perspective, and it remains exciting. It remains a drain on the accounts as well, because you have to pay for all these exercises. But Marta and I are kind of like navigating this little adventure, and she's been a gem doing that. She actually swears a lot, complains a lot, but I think deep down she actually enjoys getting things organized and getting things sorted out. Another matter, which I didn't consider either, is that because our house is a little bit high, it's not a house that you want to get on the roof with. So previous properties where I've stayed with my parents or friends, we could easily get on the roof to fix an antenna or clean gutters. This house is a little bit too high. The old man, me, will definitely kill himself if I slip and fall off, and it would be a nice sight. So we have to hire someone with a little bit of a crane job to go and clean the gutters, because on one of the gutters, because the house has been empty for a while, there's actually a small tree growing out of there. So to avoid any damage, especially as we go into winter and probably some rain and snow, that needs to be cleaned. So it's kind of interesting to be navigating these things. Also because I've been in apartments for a long time now, and you don't really consider these kind of activities when you have a house. So, hey, still enjoying it. I can't wait to get back there again. And then what is the kind of update for the day? Once again, I'm kind of like sometimes, at the moment, I'm feeling very fatigued and not well. But from a business perspective, I'm feeling very grateful and surprised because I've had a couple of opportunities actually cross my desk the last couple of days. Some of them I had to say no to for certain reasons. One of those reasons being spending time with Martha, especially now and going into her starting her new job career very, very soon. So we are spending time together and making sure that she's also relaxed and gets a little bit of a break before diving into this new experience. But from that being said, I managed to close a small little deal that is going to be a small project coming through in December. And then currently working on round 3 of something that might keep me busy for the foreseeable future. And then also today I had an email from an existing client where I had to say, unfortunately, no to a project that I had that they wanted to schedule for this week and the following week that I had to kind of say no to. They have come back and there's a little bit of a kind of rejig and perhaps something will come through on January, which is great. Like I still didn't expect that, but something new in the pipeline. And then also an existing customer is also keeping me quite busy. And I'm sharing this because I think for the last couple of months, I've gone through this big project and it's been kind of a gratifying experience, but also kind of a drain on the finances, navigating all kinds of complexities. And now after wrapping that up, now kind of looking forward to what the future holds. I'm trying to shake things up slightly. And I think Martha started to do that also with her career shift. Because fundamentally, we also realized that there's an important little man in our life. And I'm also concerned about losing kind of perspective around why we are doing what we are doing. I'm a little bit of a machine because I want to do the best I can. I want to make a contribution and I want to use the skills that I have to the best of my ability because I realize that there are a lot of people out there who don't have the opportunities I have. But that being said, I mean, I joked around yesterday with Francie with his language and with him playing, but we did go through to see the teacher yesterday, or at least the headmaster and one of his teachers as a kind of like a bit of feedback on how he was doing because the school is a little bit more advanced and he's got a bit of catch up to do thanks to the pandemic, because with the pandemic we had him at home and then also his aunt looking after him, which puts him slightly behind, especially when it comes to working in groups and that kind of stuff. But happy to report that he's made a lot of progress. I think he's a very intelligent little guy. Of course, he's my son. But then also I sat and listened to them, and I think what I started realizing is that because of the life we live at the moment with so many little things going on, I do think that we are not giving Francie enough attention. It's tough though when he comes home and you feel like you feel now and he wants to play or he wants to hang out. It's always easier to switch on a screen or get him to do something. And deep down, and I've seen it this past couple of weeks, is that it's all about sitting down and spending time together and doing things that he wants to do. So as part of the little breakaway with Martha, the pre-new job start, we're also thinking about how we can actually do something special for him where we can do something together. So we're exploring that, and hopefully I'll take you on that journey with me. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a journey without too many recordings, but perhaps I'll be able to share more. But then, so there's still a lot of exciting things on the horizon, especially as we head into December. It's funny, I always want to make December a little bit more of a relaxed month. And for me, at least up until the 10th of December, I will be a bit tense, even if I pretend on my recordings not to be so. But yeah, let's see what happens, what the future holds. You never know, and that's really cool. And still remain grateful. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to share is that I got some feedback from another client today where Apparently, the work that I did with some of their people was mentioned in a meeting today, and in a very, very positive kind of vein. And his comment to me was like, Werner, you are changing lives. So, of course, I'm mentioning this to you so that you can feel impressed that you are listening to a show where there's a guy who changes lives. But then also, I want you to also imagine that during the course of today, here in our small little Polish apartment, as Marta is kind of slaving away, doing amazing work, something that I wouldn't be able to pull off, navigating all this complexity. I walked over to her a couple of times and I said to her, Marta, I mean, you are changing our heating situation, but I want you to realize and remember that I'm also contributing. Remember, I change lives.